They're watching you, but not for the reasons you think, not to cheer you on, not to support you, not even out of love. No, you're being monitored, but it's not what you expect. It's through envy, through spiritual irritation, through hidden jealousy. It wears a smile on the surface but boils beneath. Every move you make, someone is tracking it. Not because they care, but because your growth threatens them. You're not loud about it. You're not flaunting anything. But your consistency, your quiet rise, your unwavering presence, it disturbs people who live in chaos. You've felt it, haven't you? That strange pressure in the room when you enter. That awkward silence when your name comes up. That sudden shift in tone when you mention your next step. That's not in your head. That's real. You're being spiritually monitored by people who pretend they don't even see you. And the most dangerous kind of monitoring is the kind done in silence. No likes, no comments, no support, but they're watching. Watching every story, every success, every transformation. Not because they're proud, but because they're hoping it somehow slows down. Because deep down, they'd wish it was them. You see, envy doesn't always come from enemies. Sometimes it comes from those who sat at your table, who knew your pain, who heard your dreams, who celebrated you out loud but secretly hoped you'd stay beneath them. And now that you're rising, now that things are shifting in your favor, they can't take their eyes off you. Not because you're perfect, but because despite everything, you keep moving, you keep healing, you keep evolving. And it's that evolution that triggers them. Because while they stood still, you chose to grow. While they circled the same patterns, you broke them. That's why you're being watched now. Because your life is a mirror. And not everyone likes what they see in it. They don't envy the car, the clothes, the career. No, they envy your peace, your discipline, your silence, the way you don't need validation to keep going, the way you can be alone and still feel whole. That's what haunts them. That's what makes them stare. You're not trying to prove anything, yet you keep proving everything. You ever wonder why people try to copy you, but it never works? Why they mimic your voice, your words, your path, but it never hits the same? It's because what you carry can't be replicated. It's divine. It's anointing. It's God-breathed. You weren't manufactured. You were molded through trials, through fire, through loneliness. And so now you walk different. You talk different. Your energy shifts the atmosphere. And they feel it. Oh, they feel it. That's why the monitoring never stops. That's why they keep tabs on you. Because deep down, they're trying to figure out how you're doing it, how you're glowing after everything you faced. Some of them want to congratulate you, but pride won't let them. So instead, they stalk in silence. They lurk in your shadows. They whisper in rooms you've never stepped into. But understand this, what they think is surveillance, God uses as confirmation. Because the more they monitor, the more they testify. They're unknowingly spreading your name, speaking your rise into more ears than you ever could. Their envy becomes your marketing. Their jealousy becomes your promotion. And the best part, you don't even have to respond. Because what's authentic doesn't need defense. It just is. But here's the thing. They think watching you will give them what you have. They think staying close to your steps will unlock their path. But what they don't understand is, you didn't get here by watching anyone. You got here by obeying, by trusting what couldn't be seen, by listening when no one else believed. You're not lucky. You're chosen. You're not famous. You're favored. And favor irritates the spirit of envy every single time. That's why the attacks don't always come from strangers. They come from familiar faces. People who once clapped for you now roll their eyes when your name is mentioned. People who once poured into you now feel drained just hearing about your growth. Because you outgrew the box they built for you. And now they don't know what to do with that. And still, you rise. Still, you glow. Still, you remain humble. That's what makes them sick. that no matter how much they monitor, they can't manipulate. They can't slow it down. They can't predict what's next, because your source isn't people, it's purpose. And purpose doesn't need permission. So don't be distracted by their silence. Don't shrink because of their staring. Let them monitor. Let them watch. You're not in hiding. You're in harvest. And the more they watch, the more they'll witness. Because God's not just elevating you. He's doing it in plain sight, right in front of the same ones who doubted, who gossiped, who lied, who competed. And now, they can't look away. Not because they support you, but because they can't ignore you. So let them keep watching. Let them sit in silence, pretending they don't see you. Because deep down, they see everything. They saw when you were struggling and didn't say a word. But now that you're winning, they can't stop staring. Not because they care, but because you remind them of what they could have become had they done the work. You're not being watched because you're flashy. You're being watched because you're different. There's something about your path, your purpose, your energy. It bothers them. And they can't figure out why. You walk in peace when others panic. You speak life while they complain. You take hits in silence, then rise like nothing happened. That's not normal. That's divine. And what's divine always draws attention. Some people even think you're arrogant, simply because you don't explain yourself. You don't respond to shade. You don't clap back at gossip. You're not interested in defending lies. They can have their opinions. You've got an assignment. That's what separates you. That's what makes them uneasy. And when you're on assignment, monitoring becomes part of the process. Because what God is doing in you, people need to see. He's using your life to expose, to teach, to awaken others. That's why He's letting your glow be visible, even to your enemies, especially to your enemies. Because the same people watching with envy today will have to witness your elevation tomorrow. God doesn't hide His glory. He showcases it. And you're the display. So don't be shocked when people who never supported you suddenly study your every move. Don't be surprised when old friends start acting weird. Don't overthink the shift. Your energy is no longer safe for people who feed on insecurity. You're too focused to gossip, too disciplined to be distracted, too connected to be manipulated. That's why they monitor you. It's spiritual. It's envy disguised as curiosity, jealousy dressed up like interest. But don't be fooled. You're not entertainment. You're elevation in motion. And the truth is, many of them don't even want your blessings. They just don't want you to have them. That's what envy is. It's not about the thing. It's about the person. They can't figure out why you were chosen, why you keep surviving, why doors open for you. And when people can't control your favor, they try to discredit it. They'll whisper that you changed. They'll say you got lucky. They'll minimize your grind, your growth, your glow. But none of that matters. Because while they're watching with envy, God is watching with intention. He sees the private tears, the silent prayers, the lonely nights. He saw you remain pure when others played dirty. He saw you show love when they gave hate. He saw you keep giving, even when your heart was broken. And now, He's rewarding it, publicly. They watched you suffer. Now they'll watch you shine. They monitored your pain. Now they'll witness your promise. And there's nothing they can do to stop it. Because no one can curse what God has blessed. No one can block what's already been approved in heaven. Let them monitor. Let them mimic. Let them murmur. Your oil doesn't run out because it's not man-made. It's heaven-poured. This is why you can't afford to shrink. This is not the season to hide. This is the time to walk boldly. Even when you feel outnumbered. Even when the eyes are heavy on you. You've been watched before. When you were broken. Now it's time they watch you rise. And yes, some will twist your story. They'll rewrite history. They'll make you the villain in their version. Let them. Because the truth needs no defense. It just needs time. And when time reveals what's real, they'll choke on the lies they tried to spread. You don't need to announce your wins. Your walk will speak. You don't need to defend your blessings. Your fruit will testify. You don't need to match their envy with ego. Your glow is louder than gossip. And that glow, it's the reason they can't look away. They're addicted to the mystery of your life. The fact that you shouldn't be standing, but you are. That by every human calculation, you should have folded. But here you are, still rising, still focused, still favored. And that mystery, that miracle, it haunts them. Because it proves that God really does lift the lowly, that He exalts the misfits, that He crowns the rejected, that He builds kings and queens out of broken bricks. And you are living proof. So let the eyes stay on you. Let them watch as you transform, as you rise, as you break every generational curse. Let them sit in silent envy while you step into loud purpose. Because this was never about them. It was always about what God wanted to show through you. You were never just a person. You were a message, a signal to the world that divine favor is real, that breakthrough is real, that being overlooked doesn't mean being forgotten.